Find S8 of the series. No bother. What's the cheeky way of doing it? Technically worth full marks. just add them up because it's only a small one, isn't it? Now you're not gonna do that. If I ask you for S60, that's not an option, is it? No. Right? You would get full marks for that, right? Now we're not gonna do it that way. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use the Sn formula. We're gonna get A 1 minus r to the power of n all over 1 minus r. Are we good so far? What's the A value?
1.
What's the r value?
2.
The r value is 2. Now, what's the n value? What's the n value? 8. So S8 equals 1 by 2 minus 2 power of 8, and then all over 1 minus 2. And what you get for that? Anybody? 55? 255. We all good? Move on. Alright. 9 is the next one, yeah? Now, once again, sigma means add them all together. The green part means what value of r you used to start it. And finally, the pink part means what value of r you used to end it. So as an example, 6 times a half to the power of 1, anybody? 3. 6 times a half to the power of 2. Right, let's do this really easy, ready? 6 multiplied by a half is 3. Multiply that by another half is 1.5. After that, 0.75 after that. What's happening every time? It's getting halved, isn't it? Your original value is getting halved. What's our A value? 3. What's our R value? And then we're going for Sn equals A 1 minus R to the n all over 1 minus R. These are handy enough. What S value am I looking for? Looking for S10. And that's 3 multiplied by 1 minus a half to the power of, anybody? 10 all over 1 take away a half. Okay, and what you get? Anybody throw that into the calculator and tell me what you got? Really loudly. 5? 5.994. That? Okay, fair enough. Alright, we cool with that? Alright. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this question and I'm going to alter it just to mess you up a little bit, okay? And you'll see what I'm doing here. Sometimes you can get quite there's the ability to mess this up. So a lot of students will fall for this, okay? So if I come back here and I just do this instead. What about now? How many terms is there? It'll be S11 to begin with. What's your starting off term? What's a half to the power of 0? 6 times 1. So it'll be 6 plus 3 plus 1.5 plus 0.75. And that completely changes the formula, doesn't it? We're not looking for S10 anymore, we're now looking for S11. Your A value is 6 and your R value is still a half. Just be aware that one little tweak to that equation makes it completely different. We all good? Alright. Now, what am I on? 10. Alright. Do you know what I'm finding interesting? I'm actually right. This one and this one. 5 is the same as 6, isn't it? Now I'm interested to see what actually happens here. So I'm going to use that calculator part again. So it's going to be, what's it, point? And then I'm going to, where's that button again? Make shift 3, yeah? 3, 7, 0. See the way the dots automatically move to the 3 and the 0? Now what does that look like? 10 over 27, we already know the answer, don't we? Which is great. And what does it look like? 370, 370, 370. Is that right? Now here's how we're going to write this. 370, 370, 370. Now, what I would like you to do is highlight the tail of each one. The 0. Okay? What is the first 0? It's out of what number? Out of 1,000, isn't it? Tenths, hundredths, thousands. So what's the first one? 370 divided by 1,000. What's that then? 10,000, 100,000 and a million. So what's that then? 370 out of a million. What could a million be written as, lads? A million is the same as 1,000 squared, isn't it? Now, is that enough to find the R value for me? Are two of them enough to find the R value? I believe so. How did you turn the first one into the second one? Does anybody know? What did you multiply it by? Yeah, 1 over 1,000. The numerator stays the same, but the denominator gets multiplied by 1,000. So the R value is 1 over 1,000. What's the A value? 370 over 1,000. What's the S affinity equation? A1 minus R. What's the answer we're expecting? We still have it here, don't I? 10 over 27. I don't get 10 over 27, I'm goosed. Lob all that into the calculator, and you do in fact get 10 over 27. We alright with that? All good? Alright. I'm going to move on to part 5. Now, part 5, once again, I'm going to start cheating my calculator here a little bit. I'm going to go 0.1. Now I'm going to press the button for 6.2. And it means 0.1, 6.2, 6.2, 6.2, 6.2, 6.2, 6.2. Everybody sees it? You all alright with that? Now here's what you're going to do. Rub all this out. That's going to stay there, and we're going to need an R, and we're going to need an A value. You cool with that? Now, 0.1, 6.2, 6.2, 6.2. Which part is the affinity sequence or series? That's the series right there, isn't it? There we go. So what can I say here? What's 0.1 represent? Everybody happy it represents 1/10? And then what's the next part? The 2 is out of 100, isn't it? So what's that mean? Oh, sorry, the 2 is out of 1,000. So it's 62 over 1,000. So that's 1,000, that's 10,000, that's 100,000. So what do we have next? 62 over 100,000. Alright. Using the actual infinity part, what is the A and R value? What's the A value? 62 over 1,000. What's the R value? 1 over 100. Because it changes from 1 over 10,000 to over 100,000. Next thing. I've actually checked what this answer is. I'm expecting 161 over 990. Let's try it out. S affinity is, anybody? A, which is 62 over 1,000 divided by 1 over 100. I'm meant to get 161 over 990. You're not going to get that. Can anybody explain why? Mick?
You have 0.1.
Mass properly, lads. Right. Now, 62 over 1,000 is going to be divided by what's a 99 over 100, because it's 1 take away that. So everybody at 31 and 493? right? So that's 31 over 490, was it 95 or 93? 95. That's the yellow part, yeah? And then add it onto a tenth. So add on plus 1. Nope, plus 0.1. There's that number we expected, wasn't it? 161 over 990. Because the yellow part is the Vindy series, what it all adds up to, and the 0.1 before it, you just added on. Who got that one out last night? Alright, we're all good. Alright, well, most of us. Next thing. Whoop. 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 What's 11? Huh. It's gone missing on me. Give me a second. Alright. Alright, guys. Sn is this here. Okay? Hence find S infinity. No bother. What's S infinity? Anybody? A over 1 minus R. What's your A value? What's your R value? A half, isn't it? Because you half it every time. You multiply by a half every time. So what's your S infinity? The answer is 2. So S infinity equals 2. 2 minus Sn has to be less than 0.001. Find the value of n that makes this happen. Okay? Now, we've used S infinity, no bother. What's the value for Sn, lads? What is the Sn again? A into R to the n all over. Okay, what's A? Okay, minus a half to the power of n, and what else do we have here? 1 take away a half. We okay with that? I'm going to highlight these parts here and here. What can I do with these yellow parts? What's 1 divided by a half? 2. So all those yellow parts just simply become 2. Okay? And now what I have is 2 into, what's it? 2 into 1 minus a half to the power of n is less than, so yeah, it's minus, isn't it? Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. Just resetting my brain. Okay, just going to rub all this out. Start from scratch. What's S infinity? S infinity? 2. What does the yellow parts turn into here? Everybody agree with 2? Minus 1 to the power of a half to the power of n. We cool with that? Take away 2 times 1. Have I made a mistake here, or am I good? It's actually, it's not, believe it or not. I'll explain why. Alright. Do you know the formula Tn equals ARn to the minus 1? Yeah? And Tn is A is 1, R is a half. And see the way a half to the power of n minus 1 is 1 short of Tn? That's why it's n terms. Sorry, to put this in easier perspective, look at this. Right? T3 is AR squared. T10 is AR9. And Tn would be ARn minus 1. So that n minus 1 means the Tn, the nth term. Okay? Is that alright with you guys? Now, that's what was confusing me, right? I'm all good. Now, lovely jubbly. Bring the 2 out the other side, what do we get? How you bring that 2 out the other side? Anybody? Minus 1.999. Multiply both sides by negative, what do I get now? Divide both sides by 2. What's 1.909 divided by 2? God knows. 1099 over 2000, fair enough. Alright. Now. Lovely. Take away 1. Bring the 1 on the other side and take it away. So take away 1. Oof. Minus 1 over 2000. So it's going to be minus a half to the power of n. Greater than. Anybody? What's a greater than? Huh? 1 over 2000. Alright. Next part. Multiply both sides by negative. Don't like dealing with negative numbers when I can help it. Finally, what you do next? You log both sides. Alright, and what happens when you log it? What you get? Bring the n to the front. What happens when the n goes to the front? Oh, there's a trick. There is a trick here. Here's the issue. Is log a half a positive or a negative number? Find out. Log 0.5. It's a negative number, right? Let's bring it back to basics, alright? If minus 5x is smaller than 10, what happens when I divide by the minus 5? Huh? The sign will flip into greater than 10 over minus 5 implies that x has to be bigger than minus 2. This here is a negative number, just like minus 5. So what happens when I sling it over the other side? Anybody? You got to change the direction of your sign, and it's got to be over log a half. And what is that when you throw it all into the calculator? 10.97. Any n value bigger than 10.97. Is that the answer? Any n has to be a whole number, doesn't it? So anything bigger than 11. You got it out? Yeah, but still.